Spotlight is a pretty brilliant film. It's a little slow in places, but in general, I think it's absolutely worth watching. This was released in 2015. It's directed by Tom McCarthy, written by McCarthy and Josh Singer, with a cast including Mark Ruffalo, Michael Keaton, and Rachel McAdams. And I don't know how true this is, because IMDb says the true story of, whereas Wikipedia says the plot is loosely based on and the plot is original. So if anybody has any information about just how accurate this is, I'd love to know. And certainly the narrative it's fascinating. And what I really admire is how they don't sugarcoat things. This looks at the fact that in Boston there was a huge scandal and cover-up of child molestation within the Catholic Archdiocese, and the film is about how the Boston Globe, the Spotlight department or team, looked at all of this and uncovered this, and they're interviewing people within the church, they're interviewing victims of this, and I love, in the most eye-opening way, I love how blunt they are. They don't sugarcoat the descriptions of what happened to the children, and I think that's really important, because it's so much more powerful and impactful if you don't sugarcoat it. That does, however, mean that there are times when it's maybe a little bit difficult to watch or difficult to listen to, because some of the descriptions are quite detailed, and that means that yes, it's powerful, but it isn't the easiest watch. It's also very long. It's about 2 hours, maybe a little over 2 hours. That being said, I don't think it could have been shorter, maybe a tiny bit shorter, without losing anything. I think the length was actually a pretty decent length. It was a little slow to begin with. I'd say it took me maybe 20, 30 minutes to actually start getting into the film to begin with. They had to lay the groundwork, so I don't think the first 20, 30 minutes were unnecessary, but it was quite dry to begin with. But once the story got going, it was very easy to become emotionally invested in this story, wanting all of the right information to come out so that justice could be delivered. And I certainly found it to be very eye-opening. And the fact that it's based on truth is definitely what makes it quite difficult to watch at certain points. As I said, well, as Wikipedia said, the plot is original but is loosely based on specific events, and these specific events actually earned the Globe the Pulitzer Prize for Public Service in 2003. So definitely brilliant work, and a great subject matter for a film, because it's really fascinating but really important as well. And based on my limited knowledge of the real events, I think they did a really great job with this. Absolutely one that I recommend. In my opinion, it's not a film that you could put on regardless of what mood you're in. I think you need to be in a specific kind of mood to watch this film and really get the most out of it. But if it's what you're in the mood for, if it sounds like something that would interest you, then I'd say Spotlight is worth the 2 hours. And I very, very rarely say that about a film. It's definitely very well done and certainly very fascinating.